There we go. All there. Is the BGM too low for you guys? Because this was a bit. I'm putting it a little higher. Is this better? Looks like it might be a little low, but anyway, let's go. Howdy, Xavier. Good to see you. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like the doc. I think for a first draft, it's pretty swell. Again, half of it was written in a fugue state, so I do feel like it's gonna definitely need, like, when I come back to it, it's probably gonna need a lot of tweaking in the drafting process, you know? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I could probably, you know, make more concise or do better. But yeah, overall, I'm very satisfied with it, because I actually had a lot of new stuff to say, which is not what I was expecting going into that. It was actually surprising how much things kind of clicked. I still think the whole thing with Marika and her kids is like the biggest. So I'm like, oh my god, I get you now. Like, I get it. I get it. And it thanks to the DLC, I get it, right? But still, it's like, oh, I get it. I get all of this. There's so much family drama. There we go. Yeah, I like having Queen Melina actually get inside her head. And again, I think what I appreciate most about it is that you could cut Mesmer, like his side of the DLC stuff, out of the story, and it's still all there in the base game. Like I won't say Mesmer is like a footnote in her story. I think he definitely contributes significantly, especially on the snake side stuff. Like, he does a lot of heavy lifting, I think, there. But, like, it still works. Like, if you took Mesmer out of the picture, you'd still have the, well, you know, she's, you know, learning how to control, you know, the fire powers and stuff. I think Mesmer just helps kind of complete it by adding another twin dynamic and giving this sort of gold and abyss contrast, which I think also kind of explains why it also helps explain why Melina doesn't fall really under suspicion, because Mesmer is the more obvious right? Like, he's the big spoopy scary evil serpent abyssal flame, you know, monstrosity, right? Whereas Melina, as far as we can tell, she's just got those gold flames and maybe difficulty controlling them. Yeah. The only thing I can think of to add at this moment is that Shadowbound beasts have gloam eyes, but I'd wager that's from them being made from Destined Death to encourage an Empyrean using fate. Oh, you think that they're all related to Destined Death that way, huh? Interesting. I haven't thought about it that way. This is the smaller one. We haven't seen the big ones like we do. Yeah. Again, I just love the way, because now I know that they like have like the snow actually settled on them. I think that's just such a cool detail. Like, they're just like transfixed, right? I think I want to use that word in the analysis now, transfixed. I think that's really the way that perfectly describes it, doesn't it? There we go. But yeah, the thing with Shadowbound beasts is that, like, all these shadow vassal beasts, I'd have to sit down and think about them and what they mean in terms of the larger narrative, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of lore from them for the DLC. I would have liked if we got a bit more on, like, the nature of shadow beasts. Like, for example, would Sorosh count as one with the big golden lion thing? If not, where would he fall in under that, right? Like, I'd have a lot of questions there. Yeah, I haven't really explored that part of it, but I'm not, like, again, I don't think it's relevant to Melina itself, so I don't think I would add that. Like, again, I feel like that would probably go somewhere else. Interesting. Weather changed right on time, huh? So these ones don't have... these ones don't have the critters impaled for them to do any of the blood stuff. I see. That's why they're just normal. Lol. Only really works on flat surface, doesn't it, buddy? Yeah, I'm gonna have to update fire monks a bit because I realized I forgot. Like, I didn't mention the hammer or the charge. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there because the hammer isn't a fire hammer, but it has the fire charge, so it can draw out fire power. So I think that's interesting. And then you have this whip. I completely neglected to mention this. I should expand on this more because it ties into just crime and punishment in America and how they like using thorns and stuff. There we go. Jeez. Hey, Inverse. You taking my picture? Ah! Make sure you get my good side. I guess they haven't met the Blood Star yet. Yeah, that would make sense. They're just carrying around a bunch of thorns on fire, huh? All right, in that case, yeah, I think I need to do some rewriting there for the fire monks and stuff to kind of insert this. So I want to mention these guys yet then. These guys where they do have the thorn staves on fire. And then we'll talk about how they turn them into sorcery staves by impaling the animals once they meet their blood star. Yeah. Yeah, we do that. I curse thee with the cheese. Cheese for everyone, huh? I can accept that. Hey, Dolphus, good to see you. Ah, Loki, I got school due in a few hours, but damn, how are you pumping these articles and drafts out so quickly? I don't sleep. That's how. It's amazing what happens when you have a lack of sleep driving you. All right, All right, I don't want any. No distractions. No distractions. It's just me and the big guy, okay? All right. Oh, almost fell off. I'll put deprivation on my list of creative motivators. I made a joke the other day where I was like, is this why artists get high? They just put themselves into like freaking a state. Is this what it's like to be productive? There was that guy who wanted to be her shadow, but yeah, there is some guy that wanted to do that. Who was it for? Was it for America? I forget. But yeah, it was one of the Tarnished, right? All right. Let's just do normal speeds, just get a feel of what the attacks are. All right. Sir is distracted. Oh, wait, no. I still have always stealth. Lol. Oh, okay. You do this to me. Why you do this to me? Yeah, no, I don't like it. There you go. All right. Mm-hmm. He also uses her greatsword. Oh, the Glowmite Queens, you mean? Interesting. I do wonder if that means that he could have possibly met Melina and somehow figured it out. Yeah, I'm used to killing this guy so quickly. Hmm. Sir? Sir? I think your whip may have broken. Think your whip's broken? Yada yada. There we go. There we are. I recall Twitter for the game saying that he was like the first to arrive in Chase of Shadow's fate, and then many Tarnish followed soon after. Pre-release tweet, I think. Interesting if he's supposed to be the very first Tarnish to get here. Ow. Woo! Also, the only prelate that casts Firefall instead of using the helmet is the one at Gelmir. Oh, I guess we gotta go to the one at Gelmir. Do they still have the slam? Oh. I guess we're not finding out. All right, that's enough shots of this guy, though. I'm happy with that. Oh God, no, we're gonna piss off Shabriri. Actually, no way. We have the snake here. We don't have to. Thank God. Well, I'm actually happy with the option to choose the snake. Maybe she gave him a model. LOL. I mean, it's possible. All right. Gelmir it is. There we are. No. I do wish there was at least one of these chariots on the mountaintops, but if I had to guess, it would be that I bet you when they had them around, they would too often like go to ledges and shit and like fall off the arena or something. Like I get the feeling that's probably what happened. Jeez, I can't believe the prelate brought all the ones with the actual sorcery with him and left all the sad sacks with the fire monks. Man, prelate privileges, am I right? Don't you dare do this when I'm in the fight. That's like, oh boy. There we go. There we go. There we go. Huh? Sir, can you do it without the endless spouts? Like, how long do I have to deal with you doing this? You could also really tell this was at one point thought to be a boss fight. Come on, do it. We slow you down. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, sorry. So I keep. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chad. I know that I make a noise whenever I do that, but it's like sometimes this mic, you know, a little too close, maybe. Yeah. Okay. About here. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Hey, Thomas, thanks for liking the stream. Always appreciate it. Just know you guys, you know, your like and subscribes, they do help the channel. I love them. I most certainly love them. There we go. I think it'd be fun to have a picture of the miniature fire monks on the candlestick, but it probably won't look really good. I think I have it on one of my characters, so we can at the very least, I'm okay with mentioning it in the doc, but I just need to get a decent shot of it. And I think I should be able to do that on my my sorcerer, because I'm pretty sure my sorcerer has that weapon, you know. All right. But yeah, between Bloodborne and Elden Ring, we got a lot of good stuff coming for sure next month. I'm hopefully, now that Thanksgiving is past, I'm like, okay, it is time. It is time for us to have our communion and receive the holy blood. Yes, I'm looking forward to trying to get to wonderful old Tumaru. Is this it? Does he just throw the fireball? Is that all we got? He does Fireball Man because he does the spout thing, so they thought it'd be silly if he's constantly spouting while he's trying to shoot a fireball at us. Ah! You had to look real close to find they were cute little miniatures. Yeah, I can imagine. I kind of want to mention the eyes for the knee guards. But I'm like, I just don't know if I can really fit that. I mean, maybe when I talk about the mind's eye. Obviously, it's all supposed to be kind of like combining the idea of the mind's eye with like the fire giant spell god eye. You know, it's all that. All right. All right, my assumption, I stand by this guy should be a boss, by the way. I don't know why they didn't increase the health pool and make him a boss, because he has enough moves and stuff to make him, at the very least, like one of the moth bosses you see in other areas. Makes no sense to me, but whatever. At the very least, make him an area boss so you're not locked in necessarily. Happy Thanksgiving, King. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I have a lot to be thankful for, chat. I live a very blessed life, despite everything. It was a very different kind of Thanksgiving, for sure, this year. Yeah, he's not doing anything. He's got nothing special to show off. We got nothing. Yeah. All right. Right. No torrent. All right, let's go back to ×5 speed and get the hell out of here. All right. So I had a Dupre Perfumers thing for a while, so I got through and I really quickly kind of just wrote my stuff up on that. It's really kind of straightforward. The only problem is I'm struggling to fully visualize the idea with the transition from traveling perfumers out there in the wild to Dupre perfumers. Like, for example, I don't understand why perfumers in particular would consider ingesting their perfumes to be forbidden beyond it, like the obvious self-harming effects it can have. Like, I'm kind of curious, like, okay, why is this like forbidden? Like, why is this such a big deal that you have to pray perfumers being like, screw you, I curse the Erd tree, like, about it, right? Like, that's the part where I'm like, I'm trying to understand here what the idea of ingesting the perfumes does. And the only thing I can think of is that kind of like using flame, it might be viewed as kind of disrespectful to flora and therefore promotes bad behavior toward the Erd tree. Because you would, you know, theoretically you'd be consuming the Erd tree, right? But I'm like, you know, you're already like using the plants to create the perfumes and stuff like that, right? So like, what's the big difference? It's like, oh no, I'm smelling it versus I'm tasting it. It's selfish, probably. Well, again, it's not, again, the selfishness, that's the part I get. I understand that, because I'm like, okay, out there in the wild, you're city folk, you've never had to work a hard day in your lives as priests. Now suddenly you're having to go out and camp for basically, you know, months and years and stuff like that. You're going around, you're vagabonds. Like, I understand all of that and how that could give you a very cynical mindset when you're like living on your own. You're having the culture shock. You're like, oh my God, this is how normal people live and all this shit. And you're like scared. You're like, oh my crap. Like, if I, you know, this poison, like this poison bloom, like it could kill me. But hey, if I don't use it, you know, that, you know, highwayman or that like room bear is going to kill me. Right. It's like, I get all that. That stuff makes sense to me. Right. The problem for me is like, okay, well, where's the jump now where it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to blame the Erd tree? Like, I could just see it if it was just kind of like, you know, we're not like the normal perfumers. We're like the hard and tough ones, right? I just don't understand why it's the, okay, now we're going to reject everything about our religion, right? That's where I'm kind of struggling, is like, where is the loss of faith coming from? And maybe it's just the idea that they never thought the Golden Order could be so unfair. That's probably the best I can come up with. So they're kind of like putting everything on the Order as a whole. But again, it's just a little weird to me. I'll be honest, I think I like the first shot. It's interesting how his flame actually burns out. Yeah. I just want shots of this guy healing. Probably a cool thing to mention here with the purple. That's mentioned, you know, like poison stained robes. Oh, I just realized, yeah, I should mention their fur coats too. Like all of that really kind of plays into it. Oh, and them having to stitch their own robes. Yeah, that's another thing. To mend and repair their own clothes. Oh, I have a really cool idea. Let's change the time of day to night. Yeah, we get a good shot here. I wonder if Mesmer's snakiness and hair had to do with the crucible. I mean, I've heard some people suggest a Radigan connection for the red hair, but oh, really? Fuck you. Fuck you. I can't believe they did that to me. Like, what are the chances? There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm happy with that. There we go. I also have wondered if there could be any specific connection to the Scarlet Rot and Melania with these guys. I have thought this. It's really, I don't know, it's really tough for me to say, I feel like. Hello? Hello? All right, 1 second, chat. There we go. I don't know why I was struggling to hand that to me. There we are. Anyway, so yeah, some of the stuff on Dupre Perfumers, I'm very much curious about. The Crusade is probably gonna be the last big thing for the Godfrey era that I have, like, to actually even get a first draft on, right? Like, are there any other like big major events in the timeline there that I'm forgetting? We got Omen covered, the Frenzied Flame stuff, the whole God Hunts thing with the Serpent Rebellion. Obviously, we already have the Ancient Dragon War, Fringe Folk Rebellion. We have the Valyrian Wars. So I think it really is just the Crusade now. And that's going to cover basically the entirety of Godfrey's reign. And we've basically covered all of Radigan's reign. I don't think I'm missing anything. Obviously, like, specific demigod character stories and things aside, right? So most of the stuff I want to cover is now stuff before and after Godfrey. I can officially say that Godfrey's reign is done. And if that's the case, I feel like probably I might want to go back in time. I don't know, because I do really want to cover the Shattering, you know? At least the Morgoth side of it, you know? Like, that does really suit my fancy. I don't think it's a specific creature, right? I can't think of anything that's like has brown and red hair. The purple could just be poison, so I'm not too concerned about that. All right, I think it's a good enemy to fight here. Let's see what we got. There we go. Gonna probably want shots from the normal perfumers too. I think we got shots of the Lindell soldiers doing perfuming as well, but I don't remember. I'm gonna have to double check that. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Did these guys use any actual depraved perfumes, or did they just use the normal stuff? They'll heal and use blood oil, I think. The blood boil, you mean? Okay. much of that shit do you stuff in there? Well, dude uses blood boil. I'm not seeing it. It's not healing either, so he must not have low enough HP. He might die. Yeah, that's not gonna be enough. Ah! Didn't catch it in time. Get over here, asshole. Go on, get over here, asshole. There we go. Let's see, back to here. Looks like they're gonna screw you over again. Oh, it might. It's not like this is fine. This one's mostly just for the sake of having. Yeah, I think this low angle shot is the best. There we go. All right. He's sipping on purple floor. Forgot about this. right, do it again. Do it again. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Oh, okay, sure. Sure, whatever you say, game. What's weird is that all the perfumers have a weakness to holy 0% resistance. I wonder if the intention was for them to be Nox, hence the dark skin or something. They don't look like Nox. Really. Right? Because I guess they could be. But I feel like, you know, this just looks kind of like dirty skin versus Nox, who look like they have like truly black skin, right? Like they got like that. I don't know, like the Nox looks so like clean, right? These guys just look ratty. And I feel like that's probably the idea, is they're just very dirty and ratty. Yeah, just give me an idea. All right. Yeah, see, like they look like they're just kind of pale and dirty. It includes the normal perfumers too. Ah, they also have the holy. They're not particularly powerful. I'm in the black Celera. Celera? I don't know how to pronounce it. More interesting personally. There we go. What's happening in the world? 1 second, chat. Messages. Oh, it's just silly. Ah, never mind. I was like, oh, is this important? No, it's never. Oh, yeah. Honestly, doing this in the poison pool, I think, is most appropriate. Ah. Get back up here. Get back up here, asshole. Oh. Man, sucks to be you, huh? Oh. Put into perspective, all their other elemental resistances are at 40%. Huh? Oh. Yeah, very interesting. I just realized it's raining. Flipping ale. All right, we'll turn on all these. Oh, there we go. Come on, come on. Give me some good stuff. Give me the good stuff. Wait. Lol. That was a lucky drop. All right, asshole. I have one goal for you. Don't get in the way of my shot. Whatever you do, just don't get in the way. All right, is that enough? I guess we'll find out. I guess we will find out. Yeah, definitely really notable the way that's the way they handle that. Okay, so let's slow this down because I want to get the last bit of the animation. So I'm not seeing them do the blood boil thing, so if they do it, I'm just really unlucky. At least I get to see them. I thought they were using incantations for some reason. That's what was my memory of this, but no, they actually use their perfume. Gulp, gulp, gulp. Ah. There you go. All right. Oh, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing the blood boil. The evil one's actually using the medicinal perfume. Well, here's the thing. It's not medicinal perfume because they're ingesting it. That was the whole point. They're not supposed to do that, right? But yeah, it is funny that like the medicinal stuff is actually the ones from who are so depraved that they're doing all the stuff that harms themselves. I guess it kind of makes sense because they harm themselves, so they gotta make stuff to drink it too. Also, that's another thing. Why is it so bad that they drink stuff when you drink like freaking holy drops of not Estus, but you know what I mean, right? Like, again, I just find the whole thing very odd. Yeah, we were doing best here. There we go. They don't do the spray mist though, right? That's unfortunate. There we go. Favorite Thanksgiving food? My mom makes a killer corn casserole. Mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes. I love making mashed potatoes. Absolutely adore it. You cannot get me to sing the praises of mashed potatoes enough. Nice and soft and smooth and salty and buttery and Otherwise, I don't much care for Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, I guess it has bread, but I can have bread every day of my life. Sure as hell don't care for turkey. Who thought it was a good idea to have turkey every year? That person deserves to get shot. Imagine drinking perfume made with alchemy that was designed just for the smell. The only ones who do are the hailing tree soldiers and Patches. He does acid spray mist. Yeah, very interesting. You ever try bake them? No, I'm not really into baked potatoes. I'm very much someone who just likes them smashed. Give me my mashed potatoes. All right, I think that's it. We got what we wanted. There we go. All right. I think it's enough shots of this guy. I think we got plenty. I think I have a better idea what I'm looking at here. Hey, you're supposed to take more damage. Get over here, asshole. Oh, he's gonna heal now. I still remember why you guys are such annoying fucks. Like, it's finally coming back to me. Use them with so much extra life energy, their blood starts to boil. It seems to be a because they use blood from the land octopus ovaries. They use arteria leaves. The blood from the land octopus ovaries replacing the silver tier hard shell, by the way, right? Because it's basically the basic uplifting aromatic, but they drink it, right? Instead of the smell and stuff. So instead of an ignition, they add an extra altus flower to add that fiery effect. So you had fire, invigorating thing that the arteria leaf does, right? That enlivening effect. And then the blood, and that just seems to just make the quote-unquote blood boil. But again, the Japanese is more so a it's the same term used with Gurman. It means like a mania, a fervor, you know, like a mad passion, right? So the idea is, so I think blood boil is actually a really good. So I think blood boil is actually a really good translation, personally. I think it does capture the idea. It'll stop raining by the time I get over there, right? All right, damn. Yeah, I assume this is just a generic kneel animation, because they're never actually, like, doing this pose to anything. Right? Like, with the regular perfumers, you're like, okay, yeah, I can see it. Or maybe this is just supposed to show they're kind of going crazy. I don't know, like they're on the fritz. Like it's like, oh man, I can't stop my shaking, man. I feel the jitters in my brain. Yeah, we'll be heading to Langdale after this, don't worry. I haven't forgotten anything with the fire monks and stuff, right? Like we pretty much got all the necessary shots for them and what they do. I have to double check my stuff to see, like, do I have good shots of the dogs with the collars? Because I'm pretty sure I do, but you know, you never know with me. You just never know. All right. I know we have a Melania Knight over here. Am I crazy? I thought the Melania Knight was... Oh no, it's on the upper level. Okay. All right, fair enough. There we go. Gotta get their fix. Oh, yeah. Again, this is still one of my favorite little things. Like, you know, a developer, like, can you imagine how much fun it would have been for a developer to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a corpse here with like the arm stretching down, and then we're gonna have this body guy here who's gonna be like, it's okay, guy, just a little bit farther, you'll make it up, come on, we'll be able to do it, I'll catch you, I'll pull you down, don't worry, just... It's just so fun, right? Like, it's one of those nice little creative things that just add a little charm to the game, you know? Charm to this horrifying action game. Like, imagine making this... Sorry, excuse me. This fun. Like, ah, yes. Fun. But they do it. I love them for it. Yeah, just little worm boys. All right. Only the miniature monks on a candlestick. Gotcha. So we're gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to switch character for that one because I don't think I've looted it in this character. I don't want to open the gate in case I want to go there later. Yeah, there you are. This has the Melania prosthesis in it, right? Yeah, that makes sense. That's why they put the statues in here. Yeah, oh God, it's so obvious too now that I think, but yeah, of course, this is why they put the statues in this room specifically before you start getting to the inner sanctum. Because they're trying to first make that connection of, this is Melania. God, Front Software is so good at this. I do wish they did maybe a little bit more, like maybe take the book out of this lady's hands, but I imagine that was just difficult. It's probably easier to remove the, it's probably easier just remove the spear and like plant stuff from this statue and call it a day. And this one's just hanging off walls and crap like that. This one, obviously, they got just the extended arm out. It's just kind of funny just to be like, ah yes, Melania, known for her love of books. I don't know, maybe it's like the Holy Scripture of Mikola or some shit. Have you heard our word from our Lord and Savior, my big brother? Have you heard the word of my Lord and Savior? My big brother, big brother, big brother. God, that reminds me of an old anime where there was like God, I don't even remember what the full story was about, but somehow a guy ended up with like 30 different sisters, little sisters. I remember in the English dub they had to find out, like, they ended up coming up with all these creative ways, because there's so many different ways to like say, you know, big brother or brother in Japanese, right? And like the English had to figure out how they were going to distinguish them all. And I think like some of them they were given accents and made French or something, because admittedly like some of them were like wearing like, you know, like French Victoria, you know, the typical anime, you know, French frills and stuff. So it wasn't that crazy, but like the point was like I was just like, God, absolutely wild. Yeah, I don't see any more of these guys around here. They should be up here though. Ah, damn, I got poisoned. Yeah, dude, just... Dude's just doing his thing. All right. I had my cousin who's on into games go through opening of DS3 and beat Eudex Gunder. Was so hyped when he finally did. Oh, congrats to him. I can't imagine having Gunder as like my first boss of the FromSoft stuff, you know? Yeah, like I said, I was thinking of like, could it be connected to like the Aeonian butterflies and stuff, but like they're not in the right location? So you just have these guys just kind of like kneeling for some God knows what reason in the back here. I guess you can maybe think of it as like they're like doing stuff with the perfumes. All right, something like this. Oh, we had a small disconnect. Huh. Wonder what happened there, chat. Sorry about that. Always weird when stream does weird ass things. All right. All right, let's go for normal perfumers now. It has to be Avenue Balcony, right? Like the answer is always Avenue Balcony. You know what? I do need to figure out where I'm fitting in the imps on the rooftops here. Like I want to. Maybe I can mention it, and the idea being it's probably for some of the more influential upper crust bloke of the Erdtree Kingdom. Maybe that's where I can mention it's like, see, they get, you know, some of them have added security on their rooftops and stuff. What are you buying? What are you selling? Yeah. Playing Dark Souls, fun. Definitely an interesting time for fun, huh? Yeah, like normally they have them praying with stuff, and these guys, they're just doing the ritual. They're just going through the motions. Mm-hmm. Just joining the stream. What are you investigating? Just looking at stuff like perfumers and things at the moment. I mean, this guy's just plain standing. He's just kind of there. These guys also have dark skin? Yeah, Where is it? There's the one up here, I think. Or do I have to go? Oh, God, I don't remember how to... Okay, I think I remember now. I think I remember. Just in case I have to do this later. No, this is the dogs. A little further. There we go. There you are. Damn. There's lighting in the way. Not this guy. Smithing stone 6, man. What did I do to deserve that? He doesn't come back, does he? Damn. Damn. I should have thought about that. Man, I am just unlucky with the lighting. All the angles, these guys are in darkness. Like, what the hell, man? Alright, I guess we go into Pagan Quarter. Should have done that from the start. It's always the bloody pagans. Do Nox have a petrifying disease? I mean, if they're petrifying, we'd see them look more like the miners, so I assume no. Yeah, let's see. What I want to talk about as a topic after finishing, like, again, I'm gonna probably not do Crusade still for a very long time, but, I could do Nox. I could definitely do Nox. I could do Astrologers. I could do Shattering stuff involving Morgott. There we go. I can do... There we go. I don't know if I could do Ancient Civ and Ancient Dynasty. Like, I really don't know if I know enough. Like, I'm thinking that, I'm just like... Like, maybe when I sit down and do it, it'll like all come to me, but I don't know. I feel like that I could maybe do Farm Azula. I think I might be a little more confident with Farm Azula at this level. There we go. There we go. All right. I think we've killed all the third wheels. Hello, ladies. I assume you... Of course. Okay, come on. How many times I gotta do this? There we go. Yeah, they also got the dark, kind of dirtyish skin, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were just randy, but... No, they also got the dark eyes, too. Like, yeah, they just look, they just be looking. Also, are those flute? Oh, yeah, they got the flutes. Are those supposed to be like pipes for perfuming? I can't tell. Just get that misbegotten out of the shot, lol. Dude thinks he's a player. You're not part of the game. There we go. Yeah, those are just pipes. Okay, so it has to... Oh, this one. Yeah, not a whole lot to go with Ancient Dynasty. Again, I would not be surprised if there's more than we think. I would not be surprised, but the problem is, I don't know if I'm at that level to be able to decode it, as it were. Because Ancient Dynasty and Civ come at very weird time in the timeline. Because it seems to be that the Ancient Civ and the Dynasty coincide one-to-one. It has to be after the giants have left for the mountaintops. It has to be after the astrologers have done the founding reign of stars that causes glintstone to fall across the lands. It has to be before the astrologers migrate down to places like Caelid, right? So stuff like Rhea Lucaria, Celia, all that stuff has to be established after the fall of the Civ and the dynasties, naturally, right? But that creates a lot of really awkward situation for me, where I'm just like, okay, like you come like basically right after the big stuff with Farum Azula. Somehow we have a god coming up with the Elden Ring in the middle of basically everywhere, kind of like a Proto-America seems to get around pretty far with her like empire thing. Then it just somehow systematically collapses everywhere. You still got the astrologer village doing its thing. You still got the giants doing their thing. You still got Farum Azula doing it. It's been doing its thing with the whole war thing for a while. Like, so all that's been going on. Actually, no, the Baal thing has to happen afterward, now that I think about it. Yeah. The Farum colonies have to happen after that. No, so like, yeah, not even all the stuff with Farum Azula has happened yet. So it's even more awkward right now. Because now you have basically this entire period of history where Ancient Civ and Dynasty are doing their thing. You know, you got the Nox, they're doing their thing. They're predated the Ancient Dynasty and stuff, right? Like, so there's just like a lot of powers and things that are happening. And you also have this Civ who is just kind of like growing and getting around there in place of Farum Azula's god with Placky. And Placky's just kind of like, screw you guys, I'm gonna go inside a tornado and wait for her to come back. I'm not a simp. So yeah, it's like really weird. I like how they have the normal pipe and then the golden pipe for that fancy shit. Loki calling dark-skinned people dirty. Again, I don't know if they're actually legitimately dark-skinned or not. They just look kind of pale and dirty to me. Like, legit. Like, see all, like, look at all this, like, brown and all that stuff, like, there on the blue. Like, if you told me these were reanimated corpses, I'd believe you. Like, this looks like they belong with the finito, you know? Forgot to turn off always stealth. Oh my god, no, I do not need Elgato open right now. I did not mean to click that. That's just dark. Whoa, wait a second. You're telling me dark skin is just dirty? Come on now, Xavier. We don't need to be like that. Well, this is gonna be an interesting interesting scenario that I put myself in. I think they're just Nox. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. They could be. I could definitely see a scenario where you make the argument that all the Nox in the lower quarter who converted or whatever end up going into the priesthood. America has preference for them because they're Newman, right? I could definitely see that. So man, that'd be such a great shot if it wasn't for the tree being on fire. That really distracts me. It's like, we are protecting the Erd tree. It's on fire. Like, man, that really roughs up my jimmies, if you know what I mean. Dark skin with notable holy weakness. What do you think? Well, the thing is, I don't think Nox have a particular holy weakness, do they? Like, if it was something like, oh, they have like the exact same weaknesses as the Nox, I'd be a little more sympathetic to this idea, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. It's not really the case. I don't know why. I always think this is leather. It is metal, right? It is a metal shield. But it feels like, I don't know, something about it. I think it's because of the aprons. I think the aprons are what do it for me. It makes me just kind of think like, oh, this is leather. You know? Oh. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. No, they have a negative holy resistance, so they do have holy weakness. Okay, so they go below 0% is what you're saying? So if we have perfumers who all have 0% and then 40%, then the Nox have negatives. That could be just that could be the justification then. I don't know too much about the subject, but I think Nox are known for alchemical practice, such as creating mimic tears. Is it possible that could connect to the perfumers and the Nox? Mm-hmm. It could influence the culture, yes. Oh, maybe that's why. Yeah, that might explain it. Because the Nox have a big thing about, like, drinking silver tears and like, a bunch of other stuff, right? Like, that's kind of like their thing. So, like, all that connection with night and stuff. Yeah, I could see. And then you combine the whole, well, it could be hazardous to your health to just drink concoctions like this. Yeah. Yeah. I could. There we go. There you go. Yeah, that might explain it. It might be that that entered perfumer culture because Nox maybe had because the drinking thing was so rooted in Nox, so they made it heresy. And if the priesthood consists of mostly Nox primarily. Ooh. Then yeah. Ooh. Something like that. Oh, we had another disconnect, chat. I don't know what's going on, if it's my internet or if it's YouTube, but yeah, sorry about all the disconnects for the stream. Nox have 0 for fire and lightning and 20 for magic and minus 20 for holy. The other resistances might be justified on their clothes or something like that. I have to check what the robes are like. Yeah, that could be it. That could be the Nox. That could be that the priests. The problem is we have examples of priests and stuff like the fire monks and things like that, which are like definitely human. So there's definitely a case to be made. Damn, I wish I caught him. Oh my god. Yeah. You're doing the same shit. At least you guys aren't as mobile as the other ones. Oh, I should mention the agility too. That's actually that is actually important. I don't know. Hello, Orgs. Welcome to the chat. Could just be that we just so happen all the perfumers we need are Nox. Yes, that is always possible. It's also possible that the population has shifted. Like the whole Nox population is like an overtime thing because of the integration of Nox from the lower quarter into the culture. We also keep in mind that a lot of these Nox have been displaced and stuff because of the Ancient Dragon War. So that would also really push a lot of them out of this corridor and potentially into the priesthood in order to try to escape, you know, the poverty and stuff. Because clearly America's not bothering to repair all this. So I think there's a, I definitely think there's a logic to it. All right. Oh. Stop it. There we go. Yeah, we're getting so many disconnects, chat. I'm so sorry. I don't know what is going on with YouTube or my connection that we're having all this. So if it's interrupting your streaming experience, I apologize. I just don't know why we're having this problem, period. I need to get that stupid dagger. If that dagger was in my hand, that would have been the perfect shot. Damn it. There we go, something like this. There we go. Damn it. All right, let's do that. We're gonna slow this. Well, thank you, Nick. I'm still gonna sweat it. Guys on holiday? Yeah, over here in the States, we have our Thanksgiving holiday. Doesn't change much for me, you know? Every day's a work day for me. All right, I think we got enough shots of perfumers doing perfumer things. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything else that's like really good. Yeah, I do like magic perfumes. I think it is cool. It is a neat, it's a neat thing to do after all the other more typical forms of magic that From Software has, I think, taken to. They've pretty much done, I think, everything they can do with miracles. Well, not really miracles, because they now changed them to incantations. So I think like miracles specifically, they've gone to like the limits of what they can do. I think incantation's a nice change, because now they're focusing on like the idea of prayer and invoking and like because incantations, like again, not the Elden Ring thing, but the actual concept of an incantation, and like, you know, chants and all that stuff. Those never really got much attention in Souls. They were kind of just there seemingly to help as an aid more than a necessity, right? In Elden Ring, they're actually important, and I think it's a nice way to go with it, because in, like, you know, it just like wasn't really that thing, because that wasn't the world Dark Souls was. There wasn't a thing where you were like, I don't know, like communing with like the greater universe or something in order to invoke your powers, right? Everything in Souls revolved around, you know, the self and sort of what you could do and all that jazz. So I personally find that very interesting, but like pyromancy's pyromancy. Like there's not really too much you can go with there anymore. Sorcery, again, I feel like they've done pretty much everything they can do it. But now you have this idea of like, oh, perfuming, and actually taking like kind of like the idea of alchemy and like the stuff in the physical world and combining it into special properties, right? And considering that they added crafting as a mechanic, at the very least, it gives like, you know, some mechanical, you know, contribution, I guess would be the word, to the lore there, where it's like, yeah, we put stuff away together, and it's like, just like we're doing that, like naturally that's what's happening with the NPCs and everything, and they're discovering all these things, and that's where perfuming gets born, because you have a bunch of magical materials and stuff, right? So I think this just is a wonderful thing putting it together overall. Am I crazy? There should be a corpse. Is it here or is it somewhere else? Maybe it's elsewhere. I could have swore there was like a corpse around here with a perfume bottle. Oh well, maybe I just don't remember. Maybe it was this one. Maybe that's the one. Or is it this one? Yeah, I need to look at this on a map. I should tell Nardi that I would appreciate if she does finish the stuff on Lanedell and the Shunning Grounds at any point. Damn, he doesn't. Oh, I'm so stupid. I killed him. Well, good thing I already got shots of that guy, because if I ever need him in the future, I'm gonna... This is why I don't usually just casually kill enemies. Hoist by my own petard. Guys, look, it's the Gelmir lever. All right, go down here. There we go. Now you guys making me want to check if how Nox skin looks against this, because as I've said, I feel like Nox skin looks way, I don't know if it's necessarily darker, but it just looks more smooth and clean. It doesn't look this corpsey. All right. I'd say that for all of From Software stuff, Nick. Like, From Software is just really good at making sure that magic is never just magic. There's usually something rooted into the cosmological nature of reality that helps make that magic stand out. Right? It never just feels like, oh yeah, and then there's magic. Right? It always feels like a natural outgrowth. I think it also helps because they have stuff like sorcery and things to be like, oh, this is like the study of the natural world, so they consider an extension of science. And similar with, you know, with faith, they consider all, like, again, I just feel like in general, From Software just understands intuitively a lot about the human condition for their writing and how to portray that for their world building. I just feel like them being Nox is correct, but Nox does look different. Yeah, I'm of two minds about that. I really like the idea, and like I said, it really helps if we go with the whole depraved perfumer thing, and why the whole it's against the Erd tree to do this. That would make a lot of sense to me. Like, it would definitely kind of complete it, because it's like, oh, okay. Like, that's what the heathens do. We don't do that. See, it's dangerous. It hurts your health too if you do that. Don't be like those heathens. And then you got these depraved perfumers. First time dealing with real suffering in the world since they became these high, you know, hoi polloi nobles of the priesthood, you know, eminent figures. And they're kind of like, you know what? I think we will. This whole Erd tree thing, it doesn't seem very logical. It seems like it's just going to get us killed. Yeah, exactly. It also makes sense with why they're, why so many of them would become very cynical, right? Because there's the culture shock. Like I said, the culture shock I get. The problem is them being like, okay, I blame the Erd tree and all this for this. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a war because of the Erd tree, technically, right? And all that jazz. But if we go with the idea that, okay, like, these guys are sort of, you know, Nox, you know, by ethnicity, who've grown and lived in, like, sort of Lanedell and stuff like that. And they know that's kind of like a rejection of like, the other culture and stuff like that. But, like, you know, that was part of their culture. I can definitely see that kind of like, oh, no, like, we get it. Would them having golden eyes conflict with the idea? Not really, because they would have grace. Because again, remember, Nick, we're talking about Nox, who would be living down here. And these are Nox, which, as we see, unlike in the pagan quarter, right, where it's very clear that they're kind of just like, you know, doing their own thing, living their own heathen lives. These guys here have a church, and they've definitely converted to Erd Tree worship. See? So it's definitely, and like I said, you add in the Ancient Dragon War and the fact that this entire part of the corridor basically got abandoned. So you basically like have the housing. This I'm willing to just be like, oh, we got ourselves. You either blame the tree spirit for why this area is destroyed, or you blame like a burning or whatever. Either way, like there's not, of course they have to exaggerate all the bodies, but like there's not too much going on here. I do love this idea that Morgoth's forces with the Banished Knights, for some reason slaughtered these guys. Like they went on a killing spree. Again, very interesting to me. I would have to like this would be something I would talk about in Shattering with Morgoth, like 100%. Anyway. You have the Nox blackout windows? What do you mean by blackout windows, Xavier? You mean, like these? Or... are we talking about back at the church? Maybe to call the hollows? Maybe? It just is weird to me that there was suddenly a hollow outbreak with Morgoth. I guess maybe you could argue because they were doing the bombardments. I don't know. It seems a bit... they aren't windows, so light gets in. Ah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. You're right. But don't we have something similar in Lane? Let me double check. I'll be honest. I've always kind of just like taken for granted. I will admit, I've always just kind of taken for granted. That's like, oh yeah, these are just kind of like window things or whatever. Like I've never thought about the fact that, yeah, that's solid metal. Those windows are for decoration. Like, unless those things are on hinges and you can just like slot them open, like. Now there's something similar here in Lanedell and stuff like that. Yeah, see, they're doing the same thing here. I don't know if I'm going to be saying like everybody in this goddamn town is a Nox, you know? All right. Hey, Radigan, how you doing? Good old Radigan. My lord, my hero. What you doing about now, Radican? Ugh. There we go. Yeah, they are down there. They do load them, anticipating you coming down. You're the last one. I killed the Guardian. It's just you now. I love me my Elden Ring. Yeah, I think people have put way too much stock. I think it's just the idea that the tree keeps growing and growing into the giant thing we see. I think that's just the idea they're going for here. You got the ring, it's growing the tree, and the tree grows and grows and grows. Ignore the streaks of red in the corner. There we go. There we go. I think that looks nice. I think it looks cool. Maybe a little bit higher. Not make it so angled. Because I can see myself, I offhandedly mentioned this when talking about like the ring at the root in Erdtree's beginning. I can see myself talking about this for Age of Plenty too. The idea of this tree that grows tall and will stand forever and grow until it takes over the entire lands between, you know? I also like the inclusion of 2 gladiators here, by the way, because we have the 2 different sanctum chambers in Langdell's catacombs, so I can imagine Morgott like plucking these guys straight out of the catacombs, being like, hey, I remember those guys. Let's use them. Oh, that reminds me, chat. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, because there's the... There was the gladiator here. I forget. What was special about this guy? He was just supposed to be mad, right? But he just fought like a normal gladiator, I think. They didn't do anything special with him from what I remember, right? Oh my god. This is another one of those where I'm just like, how exactly does this look from the outside? Because it kind of feels like... Kind of feels like a little crazy. Honestly, it's a lot more straightforward. You just look at it a bunch of blocks here. But like when you go inside, you're like, oh. There's like a lot of twists and turns to this place. Anyway. Because you have these guys guarding here. There's a bunch of dead Bunch of dead vulgar militia. They're clearly been struggling with this guy and just said, ah, fuck it. We're just gonna cover up the hole, right? Just leave him down there. I don't know, personally. Yeah, like that. I don't remember him having anything special or whatever. So, because I've been trying to think about, like, why is there a gladiator down there? He didn't go mad. He hasn't gone mad. Like, okay, here's the thing. Either A, he went mad from all the, from the bug stuff. But then my question is, why aren't they using him as a soldier? Why was he here? Did he run away on his own? Like, did he escape from, I don't know, where's the catacomb? I don't know, Minor Erdtree catacombs here? Or Kaled catacombs here? Right? Like, I see stuff like that, I'm just like, yeah. It is very interesting to me. Because then they have you go out and you find the graves here, right? It's very simple graves with the treasure sword. And I assume the two things are disconnected. Like this doesn't have too much to do with the other over here. But it just makes me kind of wonder what's supposed to be the story with the duelist. Instead of Aoheat? Maybe. And got turned into a duelist after. Man, that would really suck. Maybe if a bunch of his people ended up getting enslaved after doing their service for the Erdtree in the Fringe Folk Rebellion. Maybe Elmer has a reason to have a chip on his shoulder that he wants to kind of like sow chaos around the lands and generally disrespect the law. Maybe I can sympathize. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'll be honest. I am itching. Like, I'm really feeling the itch. At some point, either next month or next year, I do feel like I want to start covering the Nox. Because I've written so much on the Nox. I've talked a lot about them. I think I could do a good job covering at least the Eternal Cities. And then with Astrologers, I could finish it up because I could talk about the surface colonies. So it all tie together. The only question I would have is, am I going to throw in the stuff for the Nameless Eternal City and our good old pal Estelle in anything regarding Nox and the Eternal Cities? Or am I going to throw that in the Shattering because it would be more timeline appropriate? I don't know. I guess it depends on how long Nokron is. Like, if Nokron's like, or sorry, Nokron, the Eternal Cities and stuff are, because like, if it's like something where it's like, okay, I've written like, like 5-6 pages or something on this stuff. I'm like, do I really want to keep adding more? Like, do I want to make this a thesis, or do I want to keep this like relatively short? Because Shattering is gonna, like, we all know Shattering is gonna be big. Like, I haven't decided if I cover the Shattering, if I'm going to include the Marika and Radigan stuff there, or if it would be something I put in Night of the Black Knives. That's one of those where I'm just like, oh, a Night of the Black Knives is another one I'm kind of interested in covering. No lie. Can't believe you said they can't be Noxus. They are pretty enough. Listen, I'm sorry. We all know that Nox are the most beautiful, beautiful race in the entire planet. I don't make the rules. They just are, you know? The fact they have the black Celera with the golden eyes. Okay, so here would be the question. Do we see this with any other enemy type where they have essentially black eyes with a different eye color, right? I don't mean where they're completely black eyes, and I don't mean where it's like, you know, they have like gold or whatever color eyes, but it's like a weird color on the pupil. I mean the full shebang. Because if not, this whole Nox priest thing, I'm really digging it. I was thinking exactly that. Yeah, like that's the big deal for me. Is like, is there any way I can disprove this by looking to another enemy and be like, oh no, this enemy is clearly not Nox. This should be a human enemy. So therefore, Nox have different eyes. Actually, they have yellow iris and red sclera. Ooh, I do vaguely recall the red part. Solid gold eye? No, solid gold eye wouldn't count. It would have to be. Well, let's expand and just say a dark sclera. Well, how are you supposed to pronounce that? And then a bright pupil. Let's say that. It has to be that specific contrast. Like, do we have any other enemies that we can compare to? Hey, Priesty boys, how you doing, man? Same as Gideon, but Gideon has pale skin. Oh, the problem is we don't know. At least I don't know enough about Gideon. So like, if there was some like, if you could like be like, oh no, Gideon is a secret Nox love child that like escaped out into the lands between or something like that and became like a noble or something, I could believe you. Like, I wouldn't want to like completely discount the possibility that Sir Gideon Ofnir is a descendant of the Nox. Possibly Radigan from his painting. We have never really seen Radigan's face before, huh? Because they always show him from the back in the cinematic. That is true. Where is my moon? The thing is Radigan would at the very least be Newman, quote unquote, because America. So it's like, does it really count? He kind of looks like he has black sclera in that one painting, but not 100%. Yeah, it's hard to tell because how do I get in there? Yeah, just I was thinking like, do I go to Round Table Hold instead? Nah, let's just do it. The thing is, I think you could very easily say that's just the lighting of the portrait, right? Woo, woo, woo. Right. Like, you could convince me this is just because the shadow. Right? Because you have a similar thing here, where you don't really clearly see Godfrey's eyes. Right? Like, like if someone told me, oh, like, see that bright spot, that's the pupil, the rest of it's just a dark sclera. Like, sure. You could probably make a case for there. So I don't think this is that weird. Now, granted, we've never seen Godfrey, so I mean, sorry, Radigan, in the flesh with like proper unzombified look. So maybe I'm not gonna Not gonna say it's impossible. I'll say the males hoods are the splitting image of the perfumers. Yeah, but that could just be a model reuse. That's true, but like I wouldn't discount that like either they reused a model or they based on a similar design or whatever. Because Trisha wears that and she's like a female priest and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think Radon or Rykard might have it. Well, Rykard's a snake, so like I think we can discount that. Like he's already got weird magical bullshit going on with him. Radon though. Does Radon normal form have it? Like when he's the consort? Does Radon as the consort have it, or is it just because I'm pretty sure in Volcano Manor he looks normal? Because correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the idea, they never really say it, but like Smotown would love to tout the idea that the runes have like a corrupting force power on everybody. You can't really see it in this one. This one's got the Radigan problem. I think the texture is more clear though, because you can kind of vaguely see it, but pretty sure it's just normal eyes here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking it over, and my conclusion is it's definitely possible. The only way to really kind of say no is if we determine that there's some weird magical stuff going on with perfumers, or we find cut content. There could be cut content stuff that could be like, okay, they had this idea, that clearly that idea has changed. So there's not really any reason to believe that a remnant of it survives, that we should consider that for the enemies. At the very least, I think I'm going to sit on this because I want to kind of think this through, see if there's any other reasons I can use to discount it. Mm-hmm. I've been also thinking more, chat, like down here. Because you know all this water here, and I'm like, okay, yeah, the flooding, the overflow, that stuff makes sense to me. But because they all use the same model, I do wonder, I've been trying to think if there's a way I could be like, could it be this stuff got burned, right? I think that's really the problem, is their dead trees and their burned trees use like the same stuff. It all looks kind of... So like, I would like to try to think it'd be like, okay, yeah, there was like a fire and like water got flooded over here. Or they took all the water and brought it over here to stop it. But I'm just kind of like, why would there be a fire? Like, I don't think there's anything really fire related we have here. They're not really using any like artillery or something that would really cause that here. So it'd just be kind of weird overall. I like the idea a lot, to be honest. Yeah, I do too. It's just like, again, I will say I do think the way that they did the skin so differently between them, that does kind of make me go like, like that gives me pause. And the fact that the eye, again, maybe when I'll have to see if Zlowski's got anything on this, because Zlowski is so good with those models. If there's any close-ups on the Nox and the Perfumer's eyes, that could be really informative. Because maybe they're closer than we think. The color, I mean. Yeah, so covering Nox, I would like to do astrologers for sure. Like I said, Ancient Civ and Dynasty, that one I think is going to be tough for me. I think that's one where it would be easier if I get a stronger grasp on Farm Azula, so maybe I could start trying to cover Farm Azula. Now granted, Farm Azula kind of overlaps a bit with some of the cosmology stuff, but we'll put that aside for now. Is there anything else in the history? I guess Fire Giants. Fire Giants would be something. Though, again, I don't know if I'm in a position to answer the question about the Fell God. Like, there's a bunch of thoughts I have. Like, is the Fell God the sun? That would be one of them. I linked a Reddit post that shows a lot of the eyes from the game in a single picture. That'll be fun for you to look at. Okay, cool. Is that in the Elden Ring thing, Xavier? You might want to pin that, so that way everybody can, like, easily reference it. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, chat, I have covered a lot of the areas in this game. Like, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm not going to say I've exhaustively covered it, because, you know, some stuff I have to skip over because it's not relevant, but, like, we've covered quite a bit. Like, there's a lot of like areas in lore that we have in fact done. Like, honestly, I could definitely see, maybe far off, but I could definitely see a point where really only thing left is to cover all the modern stuff. So, like, the Tarnish, the Round Table, the probably Mikola, maybe Melania. But, like, mostly, like, you know, really small, like, stuff about, like, the really immediate present day. Because, like, you know, if I cover, like, the Shattering with Morgoth and stuff like that, like, okay, well, I would have that done. And then, obviously, you have Moog, Mikola, Melania. I probably want to handle some of those, like, last in terms of, you know, demigod characters. Astrologers would be another big one, right? Nox, like I said, that'd be a pretty big one. Farm Azula, definitely be a big one to do. Ancient Civ and Dynasty, okay, well, that might take a bit while to cover or what have you. But, like, if it's just that and, like, I don't know, like, Horn Scent, I guess. Like I said, I still have to want to cover Mesmer's Crusade. Like, honestly, I feel like the Crusade's probably going to be the worst part because there's just so much... There's so much area to data collect and cover in terms of making sure it's all compiled. And I've, you know, granted though, like, it's super messy and sloppy compared to the base game. So, like, there's definitely a lot of being like, oh yeah, they've been here, they've been there, they've been all over. So, like, that's definitely not too crazy. I'll pin in ER chat. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I'll look at the missing data stuff though. Thanks. Could argue the ring play has something to do with sun exposure to a race that's been sealed underground for decades on top of research in volatile chemicals. You know, that's true. I did not consider how working with perfuming and stuff could potentially expose the skin in ways. It's also true that we don't really see how Nox normally look like when they've lived under the sunlight for any prolonged period, right? So assuming that their skin color doesn't change to match, you know, other humans, and same with their eyes, they could look something like perfumers. So I'm trying to think. Oh, no, because we have... All right, I guess it depends on what you consider. Because we have 2 Nox here. So I guess you have to ask yourself, how long have these Nox been above ground? Right? Like, how long have these 2 been above ground? Everyone's gonna know I'm cheating doing this, but I don't care. we go. Finally found an egg. There we go. I see about them too. Yeah, like that's the only one I can think of where it's like, okay, well these guys, if these guys have been here like basically forever, like if these, like, because the best case to excuse this would be, oh, they just periodically come up to check on them, make sure everything's on track. But this seems weird to me because it's a sword priestess and a priest, and they're both in front of like the most holy thing in Nox culture, the throne to their future Night Lord. Yeah, I can see the idea that they're just kind of they're like just kind of coming in to check in, make sure everybody's on, like, doing their thing, but you also have to ask if they're going to make a sunburned version of these Nox. I agree with you, Xavier. I agree with you totally. But the thing is, I would have to make that case, okay, this kind of counteracts my point, but we can consider it an exception because the developers are lazy, right? Like, again, you can say now it's more complicated, you know, there's all these things with having to decide, like, you know, assets and stuff, right? But that's essentially what people would be hearing when they're reading this. Oh, devs were just too lazy to make a sunburned version of these enemies, huh? Right? And again, I would be totally okay with that because they already do that with like the Leonine Misbegotten. They give them all these great swords, but they don't have them use them except for the one with the Radigan great sword, because very clearly from content, the original plan was to have them much more closely associated with Radigan, right? So of course they had that done already. So like, I don't think you're wrong necessarily, Xavier. I just think like you have to make the argument for that. And you don't want it to come off as, okay, like, see, this is all the evidence of why what I'm saying is true. Oh, don't ignore that evidence. You know, that evidence, you know, the devs just didn't, like, you know, try hard enough. Like, that doesn't sound always the best. So you want to, like, have as much possible going for it, so that way people can more or less agree with you. Like, you know, yeah, I can believe that, yeah, maybe they, you know, they just kind of had to, like, you know, cut some corners here or there on this. Or they weren't thinking about it, or if it's an oversight or whatever, right? But yeah, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm liking it. It's definitely making the depraved perfumer thing jive more, which doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but it's definitely something where it's like it helps. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to kind of sit on that and think about it. If I do end up going with it, I might include that depraved perfumers actually, because now that I think about it, okay, so I would be, because it's not really necessary to mention the change in any priest population over time. And we have to keep in mind, we have to also include the Realm of Shadows. So you already have these, like, quote-unquote Nox perfumers over here, right? So you're already having them do this stuff even before the Ancient Dragon War. And again, I have no problem with this. I can totally buy this. 100%. Where are they? Oh yeah, over here. There they are. Our boys. They don't have anything unique, right? Like, they attack the same as the others. There we go, something like that. There we go. Who thought this is what the stream would revolve around? Well, again, this is what I like doing with the streams and stuff with you guys, because, you know, I get to look, I get to see things I haven't seen before. You guys get to point things out to me or whatever, right? I get to kind of answer questions or make corrections of my own, right? Like, it's a very important for me to have that kind of back and forth. Because not only is it's always you know, you never want it to be something where, like, you know, you're not thinking through things yourself, but it's also very difficult for you to how do I say it? It's very difficult to actually kind of like cover everything by yourself, right? Like, there's only so much one attention span can handle within a reasonable amount of time.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death.
Uh-huh.
In the embrace of Mesmer's flame.
Uh-huh. 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 So, like, there's already, like, a lot going on. Oh, I can't go anywhere because you're here, asshole. Anyway, like, there's already a lot, like, going on in these games and stuff like that. So I feel the fact that, like, you guys can, like, supply your ideas, throw out your shower thoughts or whatever. I just think there's only pluses to it. If you guys say some crazy stuff, that's fine. I can ignore it. I can just ignore you. How the hell did this guy step over every single one of these goddamn carts? Like, what the fuck, man? You're literally, like, knocking down tents, but the broken down ass carts. Is it a recorded stream commentary? My mind working at 50% slow speed and the game seems 100%. Yeah, this is just a mod. It's a camera mod. Some of your favorite lore content creators use it for their videos and stuff, and I just use it as an excuse for me to be able to run around with stealth on and ×5 speed, so we don't take forever to go places. I think it's neat. Yeah, it's not a game option. It's a modding thing. It's a modding thing. But hey, I enjoy it. I love my camera mod. I do. I most certainly do. Still die, though. He's a filthy cheater. I wish I cheated through the goddamn Radon fight. I just exploited him instead, because fuck that fight. Loki fakes all of his lore like a proper conspiracy theorist. Illegitimate screens! You didn't get them in the natural environment. Should've seen that coming. All right. Yeah, this plan ain't working. This strat ain't stratting. I think it's interesting that these things have the Morgott tail. Oh god, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because I've been thinking about, like, Morgott. Why does he have a tail? And not other Omen? And I've been wondering if it's possible, like, the tail is like a meditation thing where, like, he's like, ooh, I will suppress my, because he's clearly done stuff to suppress his curse, so it just becomes like a sludge stuff instead of a bunch of spirits coming out of him, like in the Fell Twins fight. So it's very clear that he's, like, done stuff with it. And I wonder if the idea is just kind of like this self-meditation where he, like, actually, like, you know, he calls himself the, you know, the Fell Omen, or, like, you know, the Omen Demon Ogre. And I have to wonder if the idea is supposed to be that he actually fought his demons, right? He's actually, like, battled them to the death. He's like, no, I'm the demon, right? And I wonder if the idea in that is also kind of like him trying to, like, mentally excise it. causes that curse to like all, what's the word? Compress itself into and try to go out his rear, only for it to just like extend outward in the form of the tail growing. So it just becomes this thing where he now has this giant tail on a bulb or whatever, because he was trying to like separate it from himself. And that would explain why he doesn't have horns anywhere except seemingly like 2 on his back and implied, and those on his head. And then obviously when he starts leaking his curse like a sieve, he starts he by the end of the boss battle, he looks like just a normal dude in an oversized trench coat. It's one Morgoth in a trench coat. Because then that would make a lot of sense to me then, on like what's going on there with Morgoth. It's 'cause he's a furry. Roddy Radonna's fave horse seemed to enjoy himself more than Consort. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna make some judgment calls on what's better, being Nicholas Slave or being plagued by the Scarlet Rot. You know. I did actually make progress on Wego, or his name is like Wago or Wago. Chat, I may be crazy, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing something, but I think good old Wago here, I think it might be that his name is a reference to wagon, because like a corpse wagon, like a hearse, get it? Because you stack up the corpses and you take them, and his whole thing is corpses. Anyway, I was thinking that I think I understand now, because I was looking through like the lore for the different what do you call them? The different Fire Knights, right? And the thing with what's his name? Salza, right? Like the JP's a bit different, but apparently that is how you say it in like the Spanish or the whatever the languages are, right? But there is in fact the thing is there's a term being used, and it's a term you only use when you are specifically trying to admonish your superiors, right? It's very specific connotation, and it made me realize, because I was looking at the English again, I was like, oh, they don't really get this across that well, that what they're saying is that Salza was helping, Salza was like, you know, basically risking his neck to stop the whole thing with the with burning down the ancient ruins, because the idea seems to have been that Wago, his master, as his apprentice, was going to do it. So the disciples like, no, master, don't, don't, like, you can't do this. And I think the idea is that obviously we see most of the Fire Knights in the specimen storehouse, so a bunch of them seem to have been on Salza's side. And I think the idea is that Wago basically kind of got ostracized by everybody for being so hardcore. No, we're gonna burn everything with Mesmer's flame, which is why they make a point about, oh, he's turning to the spiritual aspect of the flame, because he was all about the physical aspect and actually burning things. But I think the idea is that now he ended up being basically abandoned by everybody and feeling super lonely and isolated. He turned to the spiritual stuff so that way he could have some, you know, people to keep him company. But of course, these are just soulless corpses. Literally turn the horn-sent spirits of his dreams into liquid pulp. Yeah, basically, that'd be the idea, it seems like. Again, I don't know enough about the cosmology to kind of really come up with, you know, like, I get the idea of like these spirits becoming like kind of like a material fluid where they're just kind of like raw emotions, but they're not like, you know, the spirits like we have that would haunt him or whatever. I can definitely see that, and I can even understand the idea of them no longer haunting. Oh my god, why is this here? I guess it, oh, you know, oh yeah, I think it's to help. No, that doesn't make sense. Huh. I'm not sure why there's a giant hole here. It doesn't lead anywhere. It seems like one of those things that you make so you can have like a secret path down here or whatever, but then never gets made. So like I'm like, oh, I think I get you. Now Salza, I assume his name is supposed to be in reference to like salt. So I understand, like I forget if it's like Latin or Spanish or Hungarian or whatever, but apparently that name can connect to salt. Though also has some unfortunate implications for other things as well, but that's neither here nor there. So I think that Salza is supposed to be like, you know, the idea of like, you know, you burn something down and then you salt the earth, right? I think that's supposed to be the idea with him, and the idea that like he doesn't want to salt the earth. And then the final one is Kood, and I'm not exactly sure what Kood is about, other than maybe the idea is supposed to be not Kudo, it's Gudo, like good, because he has the good serpent on his head. That might be what Miyazaki's doing, and if so, I'm like, God damn, Miyazaki, like, why? Salsa. Yeah, it's like, you got Whiskers, Salsa, and, I don't know, Kublai Khan. Yeah, there's nothing else really here. If I remember correctly, there are enemies, though, on the upper level, right? So, like, at least the guy's not completely alone down here. He's just mostly alone. So he makes a bunch of spirit doubles to make friends with, too? Yeah, basically. Yeah, that seems to be the idea, is that he realized that everybody basically now hates him because of his obsession with the physical side of Mesmer's flame, so he turns to the spirituality aspect. And as a result, he does the whole reviving thing, so he's not as lonely. Oh no, this is just normal. Okay, this is not what I wanted. Am I crazy? I could have swore. No, yeah. It doesn't take you to the path, yeah. Right? Because this just takes you out back. I just realized with progression too, so you find the thing, you get the gesture, then you move on, you go through the church area, then you end up going over to the back here. Oh, no, the back is here. Yeah, no, you do go, you still, okay, there's definitely a connection point. Okay, never mind what I said. I'm just crazy. No one should listen to me. No, Prelate Candlestick. We're gonna get to that. I just wanted to confirm a few things because this was on my mind. Oh, I think I have to do this. God, I hate doing this every time, but whatever. Until I remember how to actually get to here from there. Yeah. There has to be a way that I don't remember. See? I taught you guys well. Never believe a thing I say. Get out of here. Get out of here, bub. Okay, that's the main way. That takes us that way. I don't remember how the hell to get to the church district from the storehouse, or vice versa. Well, vice versa, I know. I have to follow up the upper areas and stuff, but... Oh, is this it? Is this my thing? Is this my ticket out of here? Please tell me this is it. I beg you. It feels like it's it. It's at least long enough to be it. This kind of looks familiar. There we go. Okay. Oh, we have another salsa guy. So he's not, yeah, because I was like, aren't there multiple that have that mask? It's not just him? I guess so. I guess it's all the guys that are. So what's the big deal, Salza? Why are you lonely? You got other guys who are helping you out here. Is it just because it isn't your disciples? Is it because all your friends betrayed you specifically? Is that what makes you feel lonely? Listen, man, I don't know how resurrecting some corpses of guys who aren't your friends is gonna make you feel any better, but that's just me. Okay, there is a lift for doing this. All right, I was wondering. Uh-huh. Oh, these guys aren't real? Okay. So, like, if you hit them, they disappear or something? Is it kind of like the pinwheel things? Like, they're just kind of illusory? So if I killed Salsa, these guys would just disappear? Oh no, they use it here too. I'm wondering if there's ever a point where they actually use the tree lever version instead. Yeah, here they go. Here they do. They ragdoll then fade away. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense to me then. My only question would be like, if you kill Wego, do the rest of them just disappear or whatever? Yeah, that makes sense to me then, because they're supposed to be, because it feels weird to me if they aren't unique. Because, like, what's the point of the helmets or the masks that you have to identify them if they're not unique, you know? But yeah, that makes sense to me now. All right. So just some weird kind of, I guess, fire magic illusion shit. Okay. I think it's time. Let's do this and then, wrap things up. All right. Candlestick. All right. Hope you'll be able to see it because it's really low quality. Well, I guess we'll try. We will try. Damn. Yeah, they really don't want me to get that middle of the road, huh? All right. On the 3 sections under the bowl. All right. Oh, that's gonna be the hardest part, unfortunately. There we go. Okay. I do like they included the The actual head. Ugh, nasty. So this stuff here, right? Okay, we'll take a shot here, but I'm gonna play with the lighting. Yeah. I don't know if these are fire monks per se, but there's definitely like hooded robed figures for sure. I could see that. That I can spy. I will say it's always amazing to me just how, again, From Software does have the high quality textures, but it's like, damn, that shit looks pretty nice, you know? There we go. Lol. I don't got the faith. My lack of faith. It's disturbing. Alright. Ignore the embers in the corner. You know what? I like it. Screw it. I like it. Watch the flame. You see the ogre fangs on the chest plate? Ah. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can see what you're seeing. Ah, you know, now that you mention it, now I can see it. Yeah, you can see the eyeball too. Like, that is so easy to miss. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty cute. I think, yeah, it's a nice little detail. I like it. The lack of faith thing is hilarious to me. My lack of faith. All right, chat, we're ending it here. It was nice while it lasted. I enjoyed my time with all of you. But get out of here. I only had the zoom in function of PlayStation screenshots. Yeah, that sounds like hell, but all right, guys, we did what we could. I'm very excited about what we're coming up with next month. It was a great Thanksgiving for me. Thank you for all the well wishes. Hope you guys are all going to be safe yourselves. Now get out of here.